Good evening and welcome to Psy Interviews. In the process of interviewing different professionals of mental health and significant people in the field, today we have Pratima Jaydev with us. Hi, Pratima.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Very happy to see you. And we are very proud that Pratima is successful star of Sneha from Manojagriti, and she is very good, effective media professional. So to introduce Pratima, she is media professional, writer and filmmaker, and also storyteller, and she is psychologist also. So today we are here to talk about how media and movies affect or their influence on the human behavior. So to talk more about her, um, she has worked more than 100 plus video projects, documentaries, corporate films, TV commercials, and short films. So she is CEO of Tarangini Media Works, and also she is co-founder of Creative Aspirations. And again, welcome Pratima. So let us start with a very simple question, but very important question for the people to understand how movies influence personality of a person. Anybody? Is it have, like, do you think there is an influence? If at all, how?
Ma'am, definitely there's an influence because a good movie, a good narrative is not only telling a story. If we are glued to our seats, if we are not changing the channel now because of the OTT, we are, glued to the screens, it's because the narrative is good. And good narrative usually evokes emotions, it taps our psyche. Sometimes it even, you know, uh, makes us question our own beliefs, our assumptions, whether our worldview is right. Are we thinking in the right direction? Or what exactly? So, all this definitely influences the personality of a person. And, if it's done in a positive way, definitely there's a change first in the person, then people around the person, and definitely in the society.
So you strongly believe that the influence is there.
Yes.
Can you give us an example of a movie or any media episode which had or have shown very strong influence on the people? Any significant example you have in your mind?
Ma'am, the movie Padman. After that movie got released, many people without inhibitions started talking about menstrual hygiene and women's hygiene. Until then, it was done behind the doors. People were feeling shy to talk about that subject. It was considered a taboo.
Correct.
And Tare Zameen Par.
Hmm.
Ishan is dyslexic. People were scared to tell others, my child is dyslexic. What can I do? It's not the parents' fault. Due to some reason, the child is born like that. So these are the kind of conversations which started happening more openly when good films like Tare Zameen Par or Padman, got introduced to the viewers.
Right. Sometimes parents come and, when we want to talk about learning disability, we say, Tare Zameen Pe. Then
Yes,
we start the conversation. So it opened a window for
yes,
the people to talk about it.
yes,
Yeah, really amazing. And in movies, you have storytelling.
yes.
There is a story in it. So how do you look at this story? Do you think it will play a role in, shaping our emotions or our ideology or perspectives or behaviors?
Definitely, ma'am. Storytelling is all about touching emotions because that's the way you stay connected, to your inner self. And when you're connecting to the character, you might be, at times identifying yourself with the character.
Hmm.
Definitely, it touches our emotions, it touches our psyche. And that's why, people sometimes say after watching movie, you are like that. You are like the character in that film.
Right.
Maybe,
Correct.
like that character, you should continue doing what you're doing or you have to change. So definitely storytelling, especially visual storytelling in the form of movies or short films or reels, all these things definitely have a very major influence on people, on the.
Mhm. Right. So when I'm, listening to you, I'm just trying to understand. We were talking about the, as somebody messaged also, positive impact of one movie on opening windows to talk about it, talk about something, or, helping people to become aware of something. But do you think there is a negative impact of a movie also? So can you give us some examples which some movies which really actually impacted the youth or any age group for that matter?
Yeah. Ma'am, everything has both pros and cons to it.
Yeah,
Same
correct.
applies to movies or any other media content which we see online. Uh, what is important is how we perceive it. So that media awareness, how to, take the stones out, like when we see
Mhm.
the door, we take the dust particles out. So that awareness is what is very important. So positive influence, maybe I will take example of Chak De. That is something which everybody will identify with. Uh, Before Chak De came, not many were aware of the struggles women athletes go through.
Hmm.
And after that, there has been a lot of awareness, how underdog characters that we see in Chuck Day have struggled and, overcome their difficulties and become successful. So that has actually motivated a lot of women to come out and follow their passion. After that, we've seen n number of films which are continuously being made by different filmmakers to motivate and highlight all these achievers. Again, negative influence. Yes, whenever a movie is entertaining people and giving information is fine. But a movie like Animal, uh,
Hmm.
where, yes, those kind of people also exist in the society. As filmmakers, we like to have our creative freedom. But then, one thing that all media professionals should ask is, are we uh, sending out any wrong message? Are we being socially responsible? Because, yes, there are aggressive people. Show aggressiveness, but don't make it a big affair. Don't, it should not be done on a very grandiose level.
Correct.
That is what, youngsters, when they don't know how to filter things, that is what they will take. And
Hmm.
that is something that, as media professionals, we should keep in mind because we don't know now. Earlier, they used to have, at least for films, we have censorship. But
Yes.
because of OTT, again, that's a huge subject. There's no censorship. Yeah.
Correct, correct, correct.
Course,
Everything is now.
of course, the OTT platforms have parental guidance, restrictions, and all of that, but still.
Yeah.
So it is very important to keep in mind, you know, are we being socially responsible in communicating what we are doing?
Yeah.
Animal is one thing that I will say.
And there are so many Telugu movies also,
Very
so
good.
many movies,
Yeah.
yeah, which had a very bad impact
Yes.
on, youth and also other people also. Pushpa. Many people are sending the messages, Pushpa. Let us not point out any movies here, but still, point is definitely there should be a responsibility, social responsibility when the creation of movies are happening. But as you said, it is our choice. Again, the people who are taking it, if the river is flowing, it's up to us to take some water from it, or a glass full of water or bucket full of water and drink everything and become take the negativity also into it. So it is up to us also. There is like choice of choosing good and bad from the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So as a maybe child psychologist, we would, suggest that, yes, we need to train our children to what to choose, what not to choose when they are watching something. It is maybe our responsibility also. Now, Pratima, as you know, we have seen your many short films and you're very impactful. So wanted to understand what is the difference when it is a video or a reel. It is like 30 seconds. Tuck, 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 they are going. Reels nowadays. And there is a short video of 5 minutes and 8 minutes. So what is the difference between these two when they are impacting or influencing human mind or behavior?
Okay. The reels that we see have a limited duration.
Hmm.
The short films, anything less than 1 hour are considered short films, even according to any film festival standards, are considered short films. Short films have a beginning, middle, and end, just like our movies do, but reels not necessarily. They can be a montage where we cut activities of different things related to a particular concept. And the main reason many people use reels, reels can be used for both positive as well as, some hidden agenda.
Hmm.
Uh, say, ma'am, for example, reels like related to rice bucket challenge or ice bucket challenge.
Hmm.
They were used to bring in that community feeling where everybody comes together for a good cause and raises funds. And say you're doing a reel about giving some tips on nutrition or some mental health related tips. It's again information, but also if there is someone out there who doesn't like going to a psychologist, they connect to that kind of information. And everybody wants information in a very crisp manner. So
Hmm.
these are the positive ways you can use reels. But again, there are reels where influencers who advertise different products use filters. Personally, I don't like filters because, all of us are born beautiful and God has created us in different ways. You don't need filters to glorify your beauty because youngsters who are not matured enough by using all these filters and repeatedly talking about these grandiose lifestyles or beauty products,
Hmm.
somewhere down the line it affects their self-esteem,
Yes.
and it also affects their body image. They start living without their own knowledge in that world. And
Hmm.
if they are brought back to reality, then they will not like it because they start identifying with such characters online now that there's so much content out there.
So real is different, real is different.
Yes,
But they don't understand.
yes,
They live there, don't want to come back. And all this again, as you said, BDD, body dysmorphic disorder, self-image issues, low self-confidence, and so many issues are coming out. And really, they are not liking themselves sometimes
yes, yes,
because they are watching them with all of others video filters.
yes.
Hmm. So, do we can we understand, like, is there any, I don't know, as a filmmaker, you should tell us, can we understand, or is there any process of understanding this film is made without video filters? ये तो natural है, this is not natural. Can we educate people like that? वैसा नहीं होता.
Ma'am, people who understand technology, they, now AI is like creating backgrounds and stuff. You can, without even shooting. So you can sit at home and do everything. You don't need a voiceover person. You don't need a person writing the script.
Correct.
AI does everything. So people should be aware of the new technology, emerging technology that is coming up, and also learn how to perceive things and filter take what is actually good for them. Like another thing I would like to point out about reels, ma'am, every day we see a lot of kids reels. being posted on Insta and other places by parents.
Correct.
As long as these reels are talking about some skill development of the children, say you are talking about their dance performance, music performance, that is really good because that builds confidence in shy kids. And media is now you have more opportunities, not like how it was when I started my career, but then getting in touch with the right people to use your talent to, so that your talent is utilized in the right way. These kind of reels do help prodigy kids who
Mm.
get recognized and picked up by good filmmakers or media professionals. But again, the downside of that, what I see parents doing is they record reels of kids in their daily routine.
Oh, yes.
That
Very
is
bad, very pathetic.
really bad because you don't need to show your kids how they react when you take them for shopping, how they are eating, how they are playing, because you are letting outsiders into your personal life
Yeah,
and you are putting the child at risk for online predators.
yeah,
With AI, it's even more. We cannot even imagine. It is still in the starting phase. So that one, they are putting the kids at risk by showing too much of their personal lives. And sometimes these reels are also staged. The kids are asked to perform better if the parents want more likes for these videos, more followers. So what's happening is unknowingly the kid is stressed out at a very young age when the child has to be playing. He's in front of the camera and do better, do better. If the child has it, fine. But every child is different. Every child learning methodology is different. So it puts a lot of pressure on the kids. That's not something that I would
yeah.
say.
Yeah, very young kids,
Yes.
talking about something. And
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes I watch that kids who are always frustrated child. So
Yes.
she's enacting in every reel as a very frustrated child.
Yes.
So I don't know, repeatedly making the child do that action. I don't know how it may become a reality also at a point. So
Yes.
she'll internalize that character, right? All the time playing the same role, you automatically internalize.
Definitely. Yeah. That is what should not happen. And
Hmm.
parents should, I will not say don't put them out there, but know what to put.
Correct. Yes, yes, that's fine. But if they are painting something, if they are really doing, singing or any activity which they are doing better, you can
Yeah.
always post
Skill
them.
development. That helps with their skill development, gives
Correct.
them confidence.
Yes. Very true, very true, very interesting and important because I don't know, a few weeks back I was watching one reels of a child, a very young girl. Always she speaks in frustration only, always in every reel. And I said, what is this nonsense? Why the girl is projected like this all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has a very negative impact on the people who are watching it also.
Yes. Yes.
That is also one more problem.
Def-
When someone is watching, that is also a problem again for the actor and for the viewers also.
yes. Yes.
Yeah. So now, yeah, as a parent, you said parents, but otherwise also, where is that very fine line we can draw between creative freedom of a producer and the accountability that is social accountability? Where we can draw the line?
Ma'am, as I said, media professionals, creative people, we like to have our freedom
Hmm.
uh, to showcase or portray characters the way we want. But then, one question that we should keep in mind is, are we sending any wrong information? Is it too violent? or are we grandiosing things? Say, for example, care of Kancharpala.
Hmm.
Uh, it has stories, it shows stories of people in a village where they challenge their traditional views of love, relationships. They fight, they emerge as winners. There is a lot that the film talks about in terms of social classes and castes, but it is done in a very sensible and uh, low. It's lying low. They're not. There's nothing grandiose about it, and people connect to those kind of characters. If people have had problems with films like Animal, aggression need not be so grandiose. Okay, you want to show your character, that is the vision you have for your protagonist, that's absolutely fine. But showing it in such a big manner is something that is going to negatively influence. Now, Arjun Reddy, uh, the women are shown as passive lovers. Now, women have changed.
Hmm.
And the man is shown as someone who's very dominating, coming from the patriarchal system, but then towards the end he realizes and there is a change that happens. So if this youth is taking the fact that when you create and do such negative things, it's going to affect, but again there is a way you can transform yourself, then they will be on the right path. But if they are not catching that subtle ending,
Hmm.
then it's going to really affect them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Pratima, when I'm listening to you again, I think of the success and failure stories also.
Yes.
There are a few films or short films or films which are produced based on the success stories, and some stories end with the failure also. So how do you think, like, what is the impact of this success stories, or the stories which are sad ending or failure ending, impact the youth or their self-esteem?
It definitely affects the self-esteem of the youth, because in our days we used to read, but now students don't read.
Hmm.
Don't read news, they don't read books, even their own books. They look at only the important chapters so that they can complete the exam. So when it comes to success, taking inspiration from success, yes, films like Chak De or Mahanati, these are what the viewers take the success from and learn something from that. And then when it comes to failure, Three Idiots, the film talks about a lot of academic pressure and how that leads to the mental health issues. But then the character in the movie realizes that more than being successful, it is important that I follow my passion.
Hmm.
So if the students are taking that aspect of it, yes, it's definitely going to put them on the right path. It's to make mistakes. We are all human beings, so we make mistakes. But how are we learning from our mistakes? So the films like Chuck, they talk about you know uh, success, and the films like these talk about how you can learn from your mistakes, because mistakes are stepping stones for success. So
Good.
what the kids or the youth should learn.
Yeah, yeah. So, in the process of this filmmaking, maybe out of my curiosity, I'm asking this question. I am interacting with you. So, in the process of this filmmaking, in the entire process, like, do you consider the psychology, aspect of, human mind? In the sense, when someone is writing the story, someone is selecting the characters, or shooting me, or editing me, in which in all this, I have limited knowledge about it. But then really, the filmmakers think about the impact or how people look at this. Do you consider this?
Definitely, ma'am. We do characterization. We have
Hmm.
to do a thorough research of the characters. We do characterization and we write the traits of the character. How is my character going to dress? How is my character going to talk? What slang or which dialect? How are they going to behave with
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
family, outsiders? So when we are doing all of this, that's when we decide, okay, for this particular character, this is the actor who might suit. So definitely the psychology of mind is taken into consideration, because for me both psychology and filmmaking are about storytelling.
Hmm.
Psychology is trying to analyze the inner mind, and filmmaking is just bringing that onto the screen. So definitely psychological theories are taken into account, and the character sketches are done only when in the pre-production stage, before we actually go for shooting, all this happens.
Right. So, do these filmmakers really take the support or suggestion or guidance of a psychologist for all this? Do you have this someone guiding you?
Nowadays, there is more awareness. So, yes, people, I'm sure, at least I go to, uh,
Hmm.
I'm sure the filmmakers also do that. But in the past, one way is to talk to psychologists, but
Hmm.
other is to do research and meet, actually working professionals. So, yes, that's part of our research. We do.
Okay. So, I see a good career of psychologist in the film industry.
Definitely.
Is there any name for that? Like, do you have any
If
name?
subject matter expert, people just go to subject matter experts to understand, or people meet real people. Like
Hmm.
I do meet people who have, there are a lot of stories around me. So when I sketch characters, my characters come from real life people.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So sometimes we see these stereotypes, showcased. So yeah, it is pros and cons of it. But how do you look at it?
Stereotypes, yes. There are filmmakers who like to take and portray stereotypical characters. Like Dabang, we see a macho man. And Social Dilemma, it's a movie which talks about, docudrama, which talks about the impact of social media platforms. So there we see the techies as awkward people because they're always sitting, with the technology. And There are a lot of films where we see stereotypical characters. Woman is only restricted to the house, cooking and doing everything. But now there are a lot of filmmakers who are breaking the stereotypes, like say maybe Badai Ho, where an old woman has two kids, but then at that old age, she again conceives. And initially, the family, except the husband, the own sons, nobody supports. But then eventually, they understand and they all support her.
Hmm.
And so there are filmmakers who are breaking the stereotypes and even bringing women characters who can fight big wars.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So there is,
Now there is a shift.
yes, there's a shift.
There is a shift. Great. So maybe we are coming to the last one or two questions, and then the floor is open for questions. I want all of you to be ready if you really have a question. So now my question would be like, um, do you think this binge watching of series or consuming that a lot of data from media, so how deeply people will get impacted by this?
Okay. Binge watching, yes, for us, And for the OTT platforms, we love it
Yes.
because you are glued to our characters.
Hmm.
Uh, and because you love our characters, you're binge watching, you want to see what's happening, you're connecting with our narrative, you're connecting with our stories. But then the downside of that, uh, the OTT platforms are not going anywhere. They're still going to be there. Overly doing things, anything for that matter, watching a film or overeating is definitely going to have some negative effects. Maybe you become desensitized, or maybe you develop issues like sleeplessness, or because you are glued to the screen for a very long time. And sometimes, after watching the entire thing, you might even not like the character, though you initially like the character. So doing anything in moderation is really good. Like just because we have made gajar halwa at home with lots of ghee, we eat it too much on the same day, I'm going to throw up.
Yes.
If I store it and eat it the next day, I'm really going to relish. So doing anything in moderation is always good.
But that, that kick is coming when when I'm watching next.
Yes.
So people, really want to.
Lot of anxiety issues and sleeplessness. I've heard from people that they watched till 2, 3 because they loved the series, then they were not able to sleep. So
Hmm. Yes, yes.
overconsumption is not good of anything.
Yeah. So the question coming from the audience now, sorry, people who are here with us. So Ram is asking, how do you see the negative impact of Instagram on young kids? What is your opinion?
Yeah, I think I already spoke about this, but yes, they have to be taught what to take from there and what not to take.
Sorry, you're on mute, unfortunately. Yeah, just, yeah, sorry.
I think what youth or youngsters or children should be aware is when we are watching something on Instagram, uh, what is the agenda of the person who's posted this is something we should be aware. I might be posting something because I want to popularize my product. Agenda of the person. And it's important to know that, the information might be true, might not be true. To always cross-check information from different sources and talk to people that you are comfortable with. If your viewpoints and their viewpoints match, that's another thing that people who follow Instagram, or for that matter, anything online, should be aware of. So that way they will be able to perceive how much of what is out there is correct for them,
Right.
much to take and how much to let go. And mainly these Instagram reels, they are edited in such a way, quick cuts, fast paced. Uh, so to attract the attention, that's done.
Yeah.
But if in that the images are good, it will stay. But if the images are bad, it will haunt us.
Hmm.
So it is important to, realize what is the agenda of the person who's posting it, cross-checking information, and you know. And another thing which I saw today morning, it's also important for all of us, not only filmmakers or media professionals, to call out loudly when something is wrong. I'll tell you an example of what I saw today morning. Shilpa Reddy, fashion designer, she posted something on her Instagram today. She always calls out things which are not good in the society. So she somewhere saw one image of a small girl with this much big bar of chocolate. I think it was a chocolate ad. Just because it's a chocolate ad, you don't have to show this much big bar. You show the chocolate cover, you're advertising the products, show a small piece that the child is eating. So much sugar is not good for the children. And when we don't call out these kind of things, what happens is eventually we start thinking, okay, this is normal. That's not normal. Giving so much sugar to a child, because seeing that ad, the kids might start
Very good.
pestering. Give, it was bigger than my palm. So she called it out. So as all of us should do that. So
A
that's
responsible citizen, we can do that. So, Jayashri, you can ask the question. Jayashri and Swarupa, you can ask the questions, or I can read out. You are already unmuted. You people can ask the question. So, I see Jayashri asking about what makes movies involving violence a super hit. What is the psyche behind it? Why this violence is like, yeah.
when there is violence, there is anxiety, there is fear.
Correct.
We don't know what's happening next. There is some kind of enthusiasm. And that is what the youngsters feel the kick in. And how many youngsters actually see and leave it? Just, I think, 2-3 days back, I saw that, a young constable got married, intercaste, and then the brother killed her. So these are the kind of things, which people get influenced. I don't know how he got that idea of it's okay now to have intercaste marriages as long as the couple is happy. But, the young constable died. So it's very important to
They pick
keep,
up from somewhere. They
yes,
pick up.
from where they pick up. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So there are questions again. You're already unmuted. I think you can say hi and ask questions to Pratima directly.
Hi,
Uh,
ma'am.
yeah. Yeah, Swarupa.
Ma'am, thank you for the wonderful session. What are the long-term effects of media exposure on children and adolescent development? Can you example one
It affects self-esteem, and it definitely affects their body image, because if they are there are parents I know who want to keep the kids engaged, introduce them to these reels for a certain period of time, and then when they are in their teenage or when it's time for them to go for higher studies, they said that's enough. But then the kids are already into it, they will not have interest in other things. So whatever you are, doing to help your kids with their skill development, do that in moderation. Definitely use technology, but use it in moderation so that they are not, attached to it. And when you see these reels, the kids are not portrayed, even in their daily life, they have so much of makeup. Being a media professional, I was not allowed to wear makeup until I finished my degree, my BA. I got my first watch after during my 7th class when I went for my board exam. But now it's not like that. So, definitely you need to have a check. Spend time with parents, that helps with your work-life balance also. Because you're spending time with kids, you are focusing on their development. Uh, once we were running one short course in one school, and one 8-year-old comes to me and says, "Ma'am, do you know why I'm coming for Saturday classes? Because my parents don't have time and they don't want to see me in the house on Saturday."
Oh,
I
God.
felt so bad when that kid came to me and said that. So just because the parents don't have time, they are giving them gadgets, they are getting them used to these kind of things so that they can do their work. But then, yes, only if both parents work, it's going to help their family in different ways. But then work-life balance is also important. And ultimately, it affects the kids. So it's very important that you keep checkpoints for kids in their growing up age.
And someone is asking how to create an impact do you have any suggestions for, the team of psychologists here, how we can create, the content which is actually, creates good awareness of mental health? So,
Yeah,
where to start?
where to start is a big thing,
Yeah.
but it's important to start with the common issues. Maybe start off with, how to perceive information that they get from various sources. That is one thing that the psychologists can start off with, because already there is so much out there, and now AI is also going to, revolutionize things. So, psychologists, if it comes from an authority figure talking about how to look at things, how to perceive things, I think, it'll be taken seriously.
Right. So Vijayalakshmi is asking, children below 5 years of age are watching YouTube and learning filthy language. My brother-in-law wanted to stop this kind of video making legally as they are having negative impact. So she's informing us that they are trying to do that, it seems. Yeah.
That's a good thing. Calling out is very good. And that's what we all should be doing, because now everybody has access to information. Everybody has, just take a phone, you can do everything.
Right.
Yeah. So calling out is what will bring a change.
Yes, yes. And as when you were talking about Pratima, talk out, or talk loudly, or put your point. So recently, what I have done is, I don't want to name them, but there was a video title where they were, "Forget Your Parents" was a title. Forget your parents. And the information was very good. What she was talking was very good. She was trying to talk about detachment, attachment, and all those stuff, but the title is Forget Your Parents. So, but then I could not stop myself. So then I sent a nice, open message that, please, titles, when you're writing the titles, let them be like very sensitive. Think how they impact the people. They are taking directly that we should, sorry, forget your parents, forget your children is a title. Forget your children, it is a call for parents.
Okay.
So, which is very, very negative in nature. When I read it, I was like not fine with it. So I sent a message and then I tried talking about it. I don't know how they took it. Yeah. So any question? Thank you. It was very insightful discussion with Pratima. So Pratima, before we close, any, final message you want to send across to our team of, psychologists, parents, or general public about films?
Please call out if you are not comfortable with something. Don't call out everything, because we make films, we make content with a particular purpose, but definitely call out things which you think will have a negative influence or impact on the society and people around you, and that's how we can all bring about a change.
Right. Thank you so much. And I think all your questions are answered. And Pratima is always with us. She's one of our, favorite student. So we are always look forward for you to come back with this sort of insightful discussions again and again, Pratima. So thank you so much for being with us. And it was wonderful speaking with you. And all the, the people who are watching it right now with us live and future who are watching, just stay tuned to Psy Interviews, and we are getting back with dynamic people like Pratima again and again. Thank you so much, Pratima. Bye-bye. Namaskar. Namaskar. We'll end this here. Come back with a beautiful, beautiful discussion.